Welcome to your afternoon breakout. So, many of you know him as Pastor Dorion Morgan. Some of you may know or may not know that he's also an amazing attorney. The law offices of Dorion B. Morgan, he is an attorney who cares, all right? And if you know anything about him, you know that to be true. And so he's going to be talking to you in this session about being set for life, getting your estate in order. I know that we don't want to talk about wills. We don't want to talk about, all of those things that we need to have in place, life insurance, any of those things, because we feel like, oh, I don't want to talk about death. But these are the things that you need to put in place to take care of your family should something happen to you. And so Pastor Dorion, he's amazing. Attorney Dorion is amazing at breaking these things down and not making them seem so scary. So I want you to lean in, take notes, and receive this message from attorney Dorion B. Morgan.
Hello, everybody. How are you? I'm Dorion Morgan of the Law Office of Dorion B. Morgan, 13 Garden Street, Mount Holly, New Jersey. I'm so excited to be with you today in part of this Roadmap to Destiny conference, the family road trip. This is something that's amazing and inspirational to me. I'm excited to be a part of your family, and as you go forward and the things that you do, I want to be able to give you just some legal principles, some legal background. I can't teach you everything today, and in fact, if you want to get in touch with me after this, feel free to contact me at my office. I just want to give you a few tips, some tidbits to think about as you're moving forward with your destiny and your family. Hopefully after this weekend, you and your family will sit down and you'll start talking about some of the things that you do together or can do or will do together, whether it's going to be starting a family business or whether it's going to be starting a family ministry or whether it's going to be putting some product out there or a book about your family or a TV show about your family, whatever it is. You need to have some ideas of how to put that together legally so that you can protect your family, so that you can put your family in the best position to reap the benefits without having to worry about some of the liabilities. So I want to teach you some things today. Let's say after this, you decide we're going to start a family cookie business because little Johnny and little Susie, they bake the best cookies. And I'm telling you, not just grandma loves them, but all the aunts and uncles love them. The people at the church always asking for them, the teachers at school or the other students. And so you say, you know what? I think we want to take this a little bigger, a little further. We want to do something with it. So we have little Johnny and Susie baking these cookies. Now, here's the situation. It sounds like fun and it's good. And what we often do with little Johnny and Susie is we just let them get out there and start baking. But if you're going to start selling them, or if you're going to make this really into a business, you want to get a business entity. From the law standpoint, from the legal standpoint, we often talk about an entity. An entity most often, just throughout the years, most of us have heard of corporations. Are you incorporated? Do you have a corporation? Because many years ago, someone came up with the entity of a corporation, and what it does is it protects the owners, so that if something should happen and the lady down the street chokes on little Johnny and Susie's cookie, or you didn't know that the person that you sold to had a cookie allergy or peanut allergy or something, and they say, you know what, I'm going to sue you and Johnny and Susie and your whole family. You want to make sure that you're covered. So a corporation would make it such that they would only be able to sue Johnny and Susie's Cookies Incorporated. They wouldn't be able to sue your family. They wouldn't be able to come after your home or your cars or your bank account or God forbid, cart Johnny and Susie off and make them work for the money. No, they couldn't do that. All they could do is sue the actual corporation, and whatever assets and things of that nature would be then liable for the suit. So for many years, there was this corporation, but as it would be, with attorneys, every time there's something, they have to add more laws and rules and things. Corporations over the years have come up. There are so many corporate laws, so many rules, so many regulations, so many things that you have to follow, and each state is different. So I just want to let you know that if you are watching this and you're from New Jersey, you can certainly contact my office. If you're from another state, I know we're involved with Maryland. I know Pennsylvania is involved. In fact, we have some people from Bermuda. You're out of the country. So you need to find out your local laws, or contact an attorney in your area so that they can explain to you your corporate laws. New Jersey's corporate laws, much different than Delaware's corporate laws. What you need to do is find out what the rules are that govern your state or your local area. So what happens is there's so many rules that about 30 to 40 years ago, the government came up with something called a limited liability company. It gives you the protection of a corporation. However, what it does is it gives you the flexibility of what we used to call partnerships or solo practitioners. It gives you a lot more flexibility on how you're going to run the business. So you don't have to have, so many corporate meetings and your corporate minutes and your corporate seal and all of these other things that are necessary under corporate law. You don't have that under an LLC. We call it LLC, limited liability company. Under a limited liability company, you would have an operating agreement. And basically, you come up with, well, Johnny's going to bake and Susie's going to mix and so-and-so's going to get paid and so-and-so's going to chase the money. You come up with whatever works for you, and you divide the company up. Say it's all four of us because it's mom and dad and Johnny and Susie, or whatever you want to do. You sit down, and I suggest sit down with an attorney to go over how you want to set it up, and you want to come up with your operating agreement. Now, I've heard so many times now, especially in this day and age where everything is internet and Google, can I just do this on my own? Can I set my own company up? Can I do my own operating agreement or corporate bylaws? If you decide you do want to go over to corporation, and if you're saying I'm setting up a ministry or I'm setting up a program that's going to get government funding, or it's going to be mostly grant funded, you might still want to set up a corporation so that you can apply for 501c3 or one of the other tax exempt situations in a nonprofit. But that's something that you definitely want to sit down with your attorney and do. Why would I say that? Not just because I'm an attorney trying to drive business to myself. However, what I've realized over the 18 years of doing this is that, yeah, there are many things you can do on your own. If you have a bad tooth, you can pull it out yourself, but it works better if you go to the dentist. If you have something that you need a surgery, yeah, you could cut yourself if you like and try to pull out what you need, but it works a lot better with a surgeon. This is something that you can certainly go out there and draw up your own contracts and set up your own business and all the rest of that, but it works better with an attorney. So that's the only reason I'm trying to make sure that at the end of the day, not only do you have your business set up, but we want you, as the name of this class is, set for life. We want to make sure that this is not a situation that you're putting your family into a bad situation. So sit down with an attorney, go over, tell them your ideas, tell them all of your dreams, and they can help flesh that out and draw the most important documents for you, get you registered with the feds, get you registered with your state, get you registered with any regulatory agencies that might be over whatever kind of business you're doing. They can work with you and make sure that everything you do is tight and right, so that when the benefits come, no one's going to show up and start trying to take what you've built for your family. So you want to come up with that business entity. You want to make sure that that thing is set up properly. We have this cookie company, Johnny and Susie's Cookies LLC. We're going to go to LLC because I think it's just so much easier. We have our operating agreement that says who does what and who owns what, and if we leave, the rules and the regulations that we've all agreed on as to how that goes. We have that now set up. And now I say what you want to do from there is set up your team, because every ministry, every business, any endeavor, you want to have a team. One, like I said, you want to have an attorney. You want to have someone on your team that's looking out for your legal rights, but also advising you on your legal responsibilities. because we want to make sure that we are on top of this thing legally. You also want to get yourself an accountant or a bookkeeper or someone who really knows what they're doing with your finances. Listen, again, you can do it yourself if you're well versed at QuickBooks or Quicken or one of the other accounting software. That's fine. However, for me, I always say go to a professional. And if your professional says, listen, at this point, do it yourself and I'll get in later, then that's fine. But you want to make sure that someone is covering you so that, one, you're getting all of the benefits, the tax benefits and write-offs and things that you might not have known of. Hey, you're using, if you're using your home or if you're using your car or if you're using there are tax write-offs that an accountant would be able to tell you. So have an accountant on your team or a bookkeeper, someone who's professional and knows the ins and outs of it. And then you also want to have an insurance agent because, as I was mentioning before, if someone chokes on your cookie or someone has an allergic reaction, or God forbid someone shows up and says, you know what, you stole my cookie recipe and I'm going to sue you for that. You want to make sure that you are covered by insurance. So when they say, listen, it cost me $5,000 to go to the doctor, your insurance company steps in and says, okay, if it was our fault, here's the $5,000, and you don't have to worry about it coming out of your pocket. It's coming out of your insurance. So you want to make sure you have an attorney, an accountant, and an insurance agent. There might come a point in your business or your ministry where you also might need a realtor. So you want to have a realtor because listen, all of a sudden these cookies are just flowing and everybody's buying them. And now it's becoming too much for you to use your own kitchen to produce these cookies. And now you need to either lease or buy a kitchen or a building to do it. You want to make sure you have a good realtor on your team so that they can help, say, okay, so where are we? What are we doing? They can put you in the right area. They can put you right direction. You want to make sure you have a good team. These are people that are going to help you reach your destiny. These are going to help you pursue your purpose so that your family can do it in a way that you succeed. No one wants to do this thing and fail. Certainly not because you didn't have the right team or you didn't have the right knowledge. Most of us, we don't know what we don't know. But there are people out there that do. They have expertise in these areas. And if you would just ask them, they would help you get there. So you want to make sure that you have a great team. Location, 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 location. You hear that all the time in business, also in ministry. That's where you go back to your realtor or you sit down with your family, with whoever's on your business, and you say, you know what, where should we be? Should we just be working out of the house? Because right now we're not making enough money to go out and get a lease or buy a building. That's fine. Or now it's growing bigger than we want, and we need to move the ministry into a building or the business into a building. Well, now you do want to have, again, realtor on your side to help you find it, attorney on your side to help you write up contracts, go over your lease, go over your mortgage, you want an attorney to make sure that you are covered legally in all of the things that you do, because not only are you baking cookies, but now and we're expecting from this conference that we're going to hear things in the next year and 5 years where you're calling back saying, listen, my family is exploding. The things that we put together as a result of being inspired by what we heard this weekend, our family is blowing up, and we want to make sure we have all of the pieces in order. And now we have our place. We just moved into our new location. Or if you're starting a restaurant, you might want to franchise or something. Make sure, again, you have an attorney to help you draw up contracts. Who are you franchising with? Go over the contracts with your producers and your consumers, or the people that you're purchasing from, your providers. So these are things that you want to do. Always have it ready so that when you're ready to explode, you're ready. The Bible, now I know we're at a conference. Right now I have on my attorney hat, but I'm always ready to jump out as a pastor. The Bible talks about the 5 foolish virgins versus the 5 who were wise. The 5 wise were ready. They were prepared. So when the call came, they went rushing in to their destiny and their purpose. And the ones who were not ready, Unfortunately, they missed it. So I want to make sure that as you start putting these ideas into play and you start making your calling your career and you start pursuing your purpose, I want to make sure that you are set legally so that you don't have any legal setbacks. We don't want that for you. We want to make sure that you're always moving forward, always going forward in a successful way. One of the other things, because sometimes now with the internet, you can, Amazon exploded just through the internet. They don't sell anything. They don't buy anything. They don't manufacture anything. All they were doing was taking products from a producer and getting them to the consumer. And this thing, obviously, has just exploded worldwide. So you might say my business is just internet. I don't need a building, or I don't need this, that, and the other, but you want to still make sure that you're covered so that no one can take what you have. Now, in that, with these cookies, you want to get a trademark for your logo or for maybe your slogan. There's no cookies like Johnny and Susie's, or you want to do a trademark, or you have this special recipe that you might need to get copywritten. Again, you can do all these things on your own, or you can have an attorney to make sure these things are done properly. You might have a new machine that you built to bake cookies a special way, and you want to get a patent on that machine. Again, you want to make sure that you're covered. So over and over, I'm gonna tell you, get an attorney. If you want, the law office of Dorion Morgan is 609-747-9901. Again, 609-747-9901. Give me a call. I'd love to give you a consultation, let you know the things that I can do, and let you know, and I have referrals for things that I can't do, but I'd love to help get you set up and put in order, because at the end of the day, I want you set for life. So those are the things, just a small smattering of principles and ideas about starting a business or a ministry for your family, so that you can be set for life, generation to generation to generation. One other thing I want to go into, just a little bit of a broader or more general thing that you want to have set up for your family so that you can be set for life from a legal standpoint, is you want to have your what we call important documents or estate documents. Everyone needs to have a will. Right now, we have more people passing away. Death has been around, obviously, since Adam and Eve. However, we are seeing it. For some reason, it's so in your face right now, that we want to make sure that you are prepared. And because life being as it is, there are so many different situations that whether it's blended families, you have a first marriage or a second marriage, or you have children from one marriage and now you're in another, or there's so many different permutations now that I always tell people, have a will, because you want to make sure that, one, your estate gets distributed however you want it to whomever you want it. Also, you want to make sure that your children are cared for by who you want. So you leave that in your will too. If you want them to go to their godparents, you put that in your will, that they are going to be the guardians. Or if you want them to go to your parents or your sister or your brother or whomever else you want, make sure you put that in your will. That, listen, Johnny and Susie are going to live with my brother and sister-in-law until they are of age. And the estate that I'm leaving, I'm splitting it equally to the two of them. However, it's going to be held in trust to be distributed by my brother and sister-in-law until they are age 21 or 25. Some people put 18, some people 21, some do 25. It's up to you, because it's yours. You worked hard for it. You get to make that determination, unless you don't have a will. Then the state comes in, whatever state you are, and every state, again, is different. And then they start making decisions as to who gets what and when, and family or friends are possibly fighting over who should be taking care of the children, or you didn't want them to go to this one. And you want to make sure that you have a will so that all of your assets and your children, we're talking about set for life. We want to be set beyond life. So you want to make sure that you go to an attorney and get that set. Now, we've also seen, especially with coronavirus, a lot of people have become incapacitated. So you get a disease, whether it's corona or something else, and now you're incapacitated. You're in the hospital, and either you're on a ventilator or you're in a coma or whatever other thing is going on that you can't uh, operate or take care of your own business. A power of attorney gives someone else the right to be you. So, one, you want to make sure that it's someone that you trust implicitly. You want to make sure that it's somebody that's going to handle your affairs in the way that you want them handled. But when you give it to them, while you're laid up in the hospital or in a rehab center or something, they can handle your banking, your insurance, your real estate, your business. If they need to hire somebody, an attorney or an accountant, they can do that. If they need to fire someone, they can do that for you. If they need to buy a property you were in the middle of purchasing, they can do that. If they need to sell something, they can do that. They have now the legal right to do all of the business that you had the right to do. So you want to have a power of attorney. Unfortunately, we never know when something's going to come and we need someone to handle our affairs until we can get back to it. So you want to have that in place ahead of time. And that power of attorney needs to also know who they are. And so that if and when something should happen to you, they know how to jump right in and kick right in and go ahead and start handling your affairs for you. The other thing, again, it's been around forever. But during this coronavirus, especially, we've been thinking about the living will. Many people call it the advance directive. It's a medical document that tells the medical professionals how you want to be cared for. Yes, I want to be on a ventilator. Or no, I don't want to be on a ventilator. Yes, I might need, I accept blood transfusions. Or no, my belief system says I don't want blood transfusions. Yes, I want to be resuscitated if my heart stops. Or no, do not resuscitate. All of these different things are part of your advance directive. If you want your body or your organs donated, it's in there. Or if you say, no, I don't want my body or my organs donated to science or to anyone else, you can mark that off. So you want to have something so that your family and friends are not sitting around trying to figure out, first of all, what you wanted. And what's worse, what we've seen over and over again are families fighting. So a husband says, listen, my wife would not want to be on this ventilator. I know her. And then her parents show up and say, you better not unplug my daughter. And then the kids say, oh my God, look at mommy. It just gets so, it's tough on families trying to figure out what to do. Whereas if you had your own living will or advance directive already written up, the medical professionals know exactly what to do, and all of the pressure and the stress and the guilt is taken off of family members as they move forward and can celebrate you in the best way possible. So your estate documents are your will, your power of attorney, and your living will. We do those at the law office of Dorion Morgan if you want. Again, 609-747-9901. Give me a call. We can set up an appointment and we can have all of those things drawn up. We can go into more depth. Obviously, every person has individual situations that we could talk about that make one clause or take another clause out, something that's more specific to your situation. Then I just want to give you some general things that might not necessarily be legal, but they're smart for being set for life. One, you want to make sure you do have life insurance. You don't want to leave your family struggling or scrounging, trying to figure out how to bury you or what to do, especially if you're the financial breadwinner of your home or one of them. Nowadays, most houses have two. And both incomes are very important. So you want to make sure that if something should happen to you, that your family is covered. If nothing else, if you have pre-existing conditions or whatever else, or you just financially cannot handle a big policy, at the very least, get what they call a death benefits policy that will at least cover your funeral, things of that nature, and give a little extra at the end so that people can at least, again, celebrate you mourn you without worrying about the financial stress and strain of it. You also want to think about a retirement plan. If you don't have a retirement plan, you want to get in touch again with that insurance agent and say, listen, I need a retirement plan because one, we're living much longer than we used to. But two, the truth is most of us don't want to have to work till we're 70 or 80. We want to make sure that we have enough to live off of and live comfortably. And your insurance agent will be able, or your financial planner will be able to help you decide exactly how much insurance you need and where to get it, and your retirement plan and what to invest in and how to make it tax exempt or whatever. You go through those things, making sure, again, that you are set for life. We want to make sure that once we leave this conference, we're not just all excited and we're running around and we're shouting, but we are actually doing some action steps, doing some things to make sure that you are set for life. Last thing, college funds. You want to make sure you have a college fund. If you have children, because very early on, you don't know if they're going to college or not. And if it gets to a point where they're 18, 19, 20, and they decide not to go to college, well, now you at least have money either for the family or for them to start their life and do some other things. But what you don't want to do is wait until they're 18, 19, 20 and say, okay, now it's time for school. And today, this is 2020. It is not strange to see a 30, 40, 50, 60, and even $70,000 a year for universities and colleges, tuition and fees. So you want to make sure that you're preparing for that for the next however long you can, so that when they do say, I'm ready to go to college, thank God for scholarships, thank God for grants, but we don't want them to not be able to go to school or the school of their choice because we didn't prepare. So being set for life means doing some things, making some decisions that will pay off down the line. You make those decisions today. You're living what you're living today based on the decisions you made yesterday. And you're going to be living tomorrow based off of the decisions that you make today. So again, you want to make sure that you have a family attorney on your team who can help guide you through all of these things in life. My law office would love to be there for you and your family. We do criminal. Hopefully none of you will need that. But if you ever find yourself in a situation, we specialize in criminal law, municipal court. For those of you who speed and get into small altercations, that I handle municipal court as well. And real estate. So if you're buying or selling property, we'd love to represent you. We want to be a part of that team. Your realtor is someone who protects the deal. Your attorney is someone who protects you, your legal rights. And we work well together so that we can get you the best situation that you can be in. You want to make sure that you do those sort of things. I believe that's pretty much all that I have for now. You can feel free to give me a call because there is a whole lot more that I could tell you, but I can't break it out for you individually in this session. I am thankful that you decided to be a part of the Roadmap to Destiny Conference. We have seen so many people come together at these conferences, get ideas, meet people. I'm hoping you're going into the VIP section and meeting people, or at least even on the WOVA app, you're looking at other people's profiles and connecting with people that are doing the same sort of things as you. Because listen, we're better together. No matter who you are, there's nothing better than working with others. So even in your family, if your family links up with another family that's doing some great things, who knows what the end is going to be. So thank you for being a part of the conference. Get all you can get out of it. Enjoy it. And then I'd love to see you at the finish line of all of our destinies. Again, my name is Dorion Morgan. That's Dorion Morgan, of the Law Office of Dorion Morgan, 13 Garden Street in Mount Holly, New Jersey, 08060. Telephone numbers, area code 609-747-9901. Now, if I do put on my on my pastor's hat for a moment, I also can send you to my pastor's link, www.pastordorionmorgan.com. Again, Dorion Morgan, PastorDorionMorgan.com. There you can get books that I've written. You can book me to come speak or preach. You can book me to come sing. My music CD is also available there. I'm Pastor Dorion Morgan, Total Praise. I'd love to see you. Come visit my site. Look for me on Facebook, Instagram. I'm Pastor Dorion Morgan, or just Dorion Morgan on Facebook. So come be my friend and let's go chase destiny together. God bless you. Thank you again.
See, wasn't that amazing? Didn't you get so much information, and it kind of demystifies all of those life affair things that we're afraid to address in everyday life, right? So listen, I hope you enjoyed that message. If you have questions, this is a great space to ask questions of Pastor Dorion. He'll be in a live Q&A session. If you are a VIP or premier guest, you already know you have access to those Q&A sessions. If not, if you're not heading over there, get ready for Praise and Worship with Bishop Clint Brown. And after Bishop Clint Brown, then you're going to head directly over to the next general session with Dr. Kimberly Harris.